Okay, you're almost done. On to the third reading. I know that close reading takes a lot of time. It's a lot of hard work, but it is very important in the scheme of you learning how to interpret a little bit more complex text. And so I really hope that as we go through these steps, you think about doing this as you read other information, whether you're reading in social studies or science or you're taking a test. All right, so on to step 3. As you read step 3, I want you to do it again in these small chunks, pausing after each paragraph because that's how our brain processes information, and then do some more annotations in the margin. This time, you might want to go back and use these markings that you had put. If you put a question mark somewhere here, then maybe that's what you want to explain over here in words. What's the question that you have or what you're wondering about? Make sure when you write your question, it's not something that's already answered in the article. For example, I wonder why the Muslims were or why they were killing the Muslims. We already know the answer to that, so that's not really something that you should be wondering. So you could make some comments that show you understand the article. We really already did this in the second reading, the main idea statements, but you might have something else that you noticed from it that's important, questions that you have, things that make you recognize the difference between fact and opinion. In yesterday's article, we noticed a very distinct couple of paragraphs where the author focused on opinion. So do you see that kind of information anywhere here? Because that leads to bias. And then anything else you noticed about the writing style, the organization, how the writer organized his paragraph, any good word choice that he put in there that really helped you understand something or make a very clear point, a perspective that he takes on, or any supporting evidence that he finds that you thought was important. So I'm going to say that every single paragraph here should have some kind of other annotation. And there could be 2 or 3. Maybe you recognize something up here that was discussed in a different article, or that you recognized from social studies class, or from a video game that you played. So your job here is to make some connections to what you're reading to make sure that you remember it. Okay, so that's going to be your third read. Again, 6 paragraphs, 6 chunks, so 6 at least bits of information. But if your goal is to remember what you read and understand it, there definitely should probably be more than that. Okay, and then you're going to go on to this last part. We talked about the supporting, the claim from the last article that was very negative about the Crusades. This time, you're going to use this claim. Pope Urban II brought about positive change in his quest to free the Holy Land and should be viewed as a hero. So my first piece of evidence says, if the Crusades had never occurred, they never would have brought back spices that were used to keep food from spoiling as fast. So that was one of the problems. They didn't have refrigeration like we have today. So food didn't have a means of keeping for a long period of time. So once the Crusades happened, that problem was fixed. So again, when you read these 4 boxes across with your 3 pieces of evidence, it should sound a lot like a paragraph. So make sure that you have some transitions at the beginning. When you're done with this, I want you to staple this packet with your poem, which was your homework last night, and turn it into the sub. You may then work on silent reading, finishing up your Middle Ages book response, your bookmark, finishing up your Middle Ages book itself, or working on your Invent a Class presentation.